Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and this is going to be another Beastmen battle. I am facing another Beastmen army here on the multiplayer specific map with the ridge in the center. So I'm going to be moving forward. My build here is somewhat interesting. I have just a single Minotaur with great weapon unit. I have two Gorbals, so one is going to be here. Another one is going to be positioned elsewhere. Where is he? He's on this flank. So they're going to be coming up top. What I wanted is just a couple heavy hitting Minotaurs and one Minotaur with great weapon, and I crested the hills like, where on earth is my opponent? So this is going to be interesting. So anyways, I have my Minotaurs here on guard duty looking out over the area. In the distance you do see the cygor stomping up behind him. I always like to bring at least one cygor unit per army. It is freaking awesome, especially when you can raise another one here. So now I have two cygors overlooking this entire side. I'm like, where is the enemy? Where the hell are they? All of a sudden I start seeing stuff on my radar. It looks like the enemy has also decided to raise up a cygor. So we're gonna be having a beastman on beastman fight. So like I was showing you, my main line now has two Gorbals, two cygors. I have a single Minotaur unit, and then what's the rest of my force? Well, I brought a bunch of Ungor raiders, archer units. I have two Ungor spearmen, and two Bestigor herds, as well as a little bit of a force over here with three Ungor raiders and one more Ungor spearman. I brought a lot of archers just because I figured, you know, a lot of the Beastmen forces are centered around having lots of Minotaurs, lots of elite units, and so I figured, you know, I'll bring my fair share of elite units, but what happens if I spam a bunch of archers and a couple cheap spearmen? Can that allow me to kind of just chip away at the enemy's engaged Minotaurs? And that's something that I wanted to test, and so it's going to be an interesting battle, especially with both of my cygor forces tossing stones at my opponent. Ooh, right in his calf. That's gotta hurt like a bitch. But my opponent is also going for an interesting Beastman build. He has gone with something that is essentially all elite units. He has two giants, excuse me. And now this spawn cygor. I am doing some damage to them from a distance. He has Minotaurs with great weapons, Chaos Spawn. Here's his Lord. And in the distance, I'm not quite sure where the rest of his force is. He also decided to bring just a couple Ungor Raiders. But then he also has, here it is, the three Minotaurs. I have been told that on the tabletop there was a strategy for the Beastmen, which is basically to spam Minotaurs. And not that my opponent is necessarily spamming. I mean, I'm doing the same thing with two Minotaur forces, but a reliance on these elite dudes. And he has gone, I mean, this is one of the smallest armies you'll see. And so what I'm going to decide to do with both of my cygors is start targeting his heavy guys here, his Minotaurs. I want to do as much damage to them as possible, but even though one of them got hit smack in the face, it did not do any damage seemingly to these guys, so I'm going to be now double targeting them. And that hits a fair amount, a little bit of blood splattering, so ooh, that was a good hit, did some good amount of damage. I'm going to also start targeting some of his Ungor Raiders and archers, because I figured, you know, if I could take out his Minotaurs and his archers, his other units are pretty slow and I can fire away at them. Meanwhile, my opponent and his cygor are also going to be targeting my Minotaurs. However, I'm doing a bit of a better job dodging the artillery fire. So what's my game plan here? Well, I've staggered my forces. I have spearmen up front, cygors firing away, and then I have a staggered layer of archers redeploying my own Minotaurs in the back. So what I figured is I'm going to try and play a delaying game with my opponent. He's up close, really close to me, and look how much damage I've done to the Minotaurs. But now it is going to be the charge of his two giants with some chaos spawn, and all I'm going to do in this case is pull back, and my archers are going to start firing away. So we'll see just how useful that ends up being. Tons of arrows coming in, and this is where my strategy, will see if it meets the requirements of being able to take out giants. Oh shit. This is an awesome battle of giants. I am freaking toasting this guy. Health wise, it seems to be doing pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with that. However, his Minotaurs and Chaos Spawn is going to make it into my early lines. I'm going to try and pull back my forces. On the left side, he's charged forward with his two Gorbals. I have two of my own Gorbals, and so they're going to be fighting it out. He's trying to snipe my Lord. The other one is going down the center to try and silence my archers, but this is where I'm going to have my cygor engage with his unit just to try and take him out. And I figured, You know, these two large units can smash them to bits and pieces. I'm going to have my my little spearman here to chase him down. This is an epic fight. So strategy seems to be doing pretty well so far. Let's put this on slow motion so we can take an account of what's happened. So I've beaten back the front, held the enemy back with a cygor that I got for free, and then I'm shooting away at him pretty well. Over in this position, I was able to deal with these minotaurs here. They're down to just, 3 units, so advanced sniping with the cygors took him out, but he still has a full strength giant, and I have no archers. They're all committed on this force here. In this position, he has Chaos Spawn tied up with my Ungor Spearmen. That's fine. I don't mind them taking out my Spearmen. My Spearmen are super, disposable at this point, and they're just buying me time. However, a bit more of the danger is going to be over here, where he has some of his Minotaurs, or sorry, his Gorbles in the action. But I'm doing pretty well. You can see this Gorble here. Yes, he knocked down my Gorble, but I'm doing pretty well. And I've been able to pull up some of my own Minotaurs as well with great weapons to try and take out his guys. And I've been able to safeguard my Lord. Let's go ahead and put this on play. On the right, I'm also going to be committing some of my best cygor units, which are supposed to be the elite forces. And yeah, you can see they're actually starting to take out the Minotaurs. But against this giant here, I'm not quite in a good position. Oh, and he's going to go ahead and start... Oh my god, so devastating. So I was hoping my best cygors would be able to handle this guy. That is going to be questionable. Although they are not routing, so we'll see. Back through the center, he's casting lots of spells on me. Chaos Spawn is almost done carving through my guys, but they themselves are on low health. I've been able to beat back and destroy this Ungor unit. And now Cygor's firing away at this, and I cast a spell. The enemy, mind you, had some archers also trying to deal with my guys, but I'm able to kill them. So, ooh, and I land a nasty spell on top of that. And then I smash them. So things seem to be going pretty well with my strategy, and then I smash them, so that's pretty good. However, the problem I'm having is his Gorbles here. He has 3 of them as opposed to my 2, and he was able to focus on my Minotaurs, destroyed them. Meanwhile, my Gorbles are continuing to run around. I am doing a pretty good amount of damage to his guys, chasing after them, smashing them. We'll see. The problem here is he has, just these elite units are going to be hard for me to deal with. And now, with the Chaos Spawn free in the back, he can start dealing with my free units. You can see my opponent has given up on trying to take out my Minotaurs. Instead, he's going to try and even the playing field. Oh my god. He's going to try and even the playing field by taking out the remainder of my infantry. So he's going after all my weak spots with the Chaos Forces. It's going to be pretty beneficial. Meanwhile, he has his own cygor that's been firing away. So we'll see if this ends up paying off. On this front, he also committed his own Gorble over here to beat back my best cygor herd. So I got him. I got this giant super low, but my enemy is using his Gorble to great success. I don't have many enemy units to really try and chase after with my own elite forces. They're all kind of tied down in the center, chasing down his guys. So he kind of has the advantage in the sense that he has targets to pick off, whereas I'm here trying to batter away at his units, but they're just not going down. I'm also going to turn about my cygor. Oh, yeah. I'm going to try and take out the enemy massive characters. I do cast a spell here, hoping it would slow down the enemy Gorble, but he is high health. We'll see how I do. In the position over here, I actually have 2 Gorbles as opposed to my opponent's single Gorble. So this is going to be to my advantage. So in the distance, I pulverize that Chaos Spawn, and then here we've both been knocked down. It's going to be a bloody contest to see who can get up. Ooh, and it looks like I won that. Get that first strike, and that's pretty good. I do also have some archers that are going to be turning about, trying to even up this fight, but look at my health. Pretty low, although I do take a big chunk out of him. I'm going to go ahead and try and pull out of this position here soon because I don't want to lose my Gorble. And I think I'm going to pop some magical resistance abilities. Yeah, now that he's knocked down, oh, I'm doing lots of health to him. So I think, actually, no, I end up staying in this combat just because I'm getting some good exchanges. But once again, he pulls out of the fight and just chases after my guys. He has a healthy Gorble unit here chasing after my remaining dudes. And then he actually has a full strength Gorble here. I believe my opponent popped some abilities. I could have sworn I had taken out more health than this. And so he's going to be able to take out my cygor, unfortunately. Meanwhile, the rest of my forces here are really dwindling in number. So I have a couple Gorbel units left, but not many. One over here. Oh, he's actually going to take out the enemy giant. Let's watch this. Oh, God, this is why Gorbels have to be my favorite unit. Meanwhile, the enemy does the same thing to me. I tried to get away, and he just slices my hamstring. Next, he's going to be going after my lord, who is trying to cast spells, and I do start beating him up, but I get knocked over. So we're going to have to see what I can bring to this fight. Meanwhile, the enemy lord is also at pretty low health, so I figure, you know, I'm going to start dodging and weaving around. So you can see me trying to dodge around so that these charges from the Gorbel aren't as effective. He does, boom, hit me really hard right there. Meanwhile, I'm doing the same to the opponent. It's hard for me to get out of position without getting smashed. I do have some archer support, but they do get hit. This is going to be really close. I actually have both lords being harassed by Gorbels. An interesting situation. I do manage to dodge that one, so that is really nice. Oh, let's see. Can I zigzag? Yeah, I miss it a little bit. Meanwhile, the opponent here has gone down for the count, so that is my advantage. Although it looks like with this last charge, he does knock me down as well. Pick myself up, and my hero Gorbel is going to be here to try and save the day, although his kind of incompetency is trying to block the enemy from charging me. Ooh, and he's going to lock horns with the bad guy. So my hero does manage to get away, but he breaks there, shatters at the last second, and what that does is it causes a complete morale panic. The enemy knocks me on my ass, and I get a chain rout. This was teetering on the edge. I think if I had avoided a couple more blows and stayed alive, I could have definitely beaten this Gorbel here. I had more health, but the final morale penalty made me die. I did still have one more Gorbel over here. Oh no, actually this is the enemy's. He was able to defeat my Gorbel there in the distance. So anyways, it was teetering on a knife's edge, and I was surprised that even though I beat the enemy hero, I think just the fact that my opponent ended up with a couple more troops here in the back meant that his army numbers were just high enough that he didn't suffer the same morale penalties that I did. Good call on his part to, at some point in the battle, stop fighting my high tier units and just go after all of my weaker units. I didn't have the speed with my units to chase after him, because it's hard to engage on one-on-one engagements like that, because the Minotaur can disengage from me quickly, somersault into my unit, and take them out before running away and continue to do the same thing. So perhaps my opponent's build of going all heroes worked pretty well, but then again, I was really close to defeating it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the final stats here. Only 204 units deployed by my opponent. If you look at the stats here, yeah, my archers didn't really get any kills, but you saw how low they got the enemy giant. My Gorbel's doing okay. Yeah, here you can see they tore through my front ranks. I think perhaps the Bestigor hordes here were a waste of money. Yes, they kind of took out the giant, but if I had slotted these out for perhaps a Gorbel or another Minotaur unit, especially with great weapons, I think I could have gotten away with way more damage. Anyways, interesting plays you see coming out of the Beastmen. Again, I like the fact that you can go with all kind of giants and monsters, something that I keep saying is going to be reminiscent to the Ogre Kingdoms that we'll be seeing in the future. That is going to be a fun army to have down when that comes out. Hopefully a couple DLCs down the road. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. See you in the next one. Peace out.